Way. All of this avat chinam leads us to tonight's topic. When I was planning this event, I ran the idea by my family about 1,000,000 times. And Ben was the one, he said to me, I don't understand, Mom, what is this night about? Is it like birthday, illness, like Tisha B'Av, happy, sad? And I'm thinking, another example of a very confused parent. That's what this is. But the truth is, it's all those things. It's sad, but it's also happy. And I know that sounds kind of unbelievable, but that's what I want to explain to you tonight. They did a biopsy the same day they did this mammogram, and I received the results a few days later, confirming that it was breast cancer, literally on Tisha B'Av last year. And I was sitting there reading Eicha, and I'm reading about destruction and disaster, and I'm thinking, wow, like I'm thinking about my own. And it was just an abyss. It was horrendous. And I'm thinking that maybe there's a message here for me, and maybe there's somehow in Tisha B'Av there's a lesson of hope. And it started a year of learning, and it was really an amazing year to find that kesher. Tisha B'Av is a day that marks terrible destruction, yet clearly it shows us a way out. There's a way to avoid future tragedy. There's a clearly marked path toward reconstruction and rebirth. And the vehicle is one of tikkun and repair and healing. And we can take the day in Jewish history that has more tragedies than any other day, and we can turn it into a wake-up call. And we can think, what brought us to these national tragedies? What can we learn from them? What ails our national Jewish soul, and how can we fix it? And by the same token, illness is a wake-up call that forces us to pay attention to something that's gone wrong in our bodies. Susan Sontag resented the use of illnesses. She wrote a book about illness and metaphor, and I disagree with her. I think that illness is a metaphor, and it is to an individual what Tisha B'Av is to the Jewish nation. Both may be in need of attention and, more importantly, of healing. I want to talk first about the individual. Most of us, especially women, we take our health for granted. Yes. We simply assume it and we depend on it. We pay far more attention to everyone else around us and the upkeep of our cars or our houses than we do often to our bodies. We charge our bodies very hard. We push them and we rarely give them time to recoup. And we take care of everyone else before ourselves, and we tend to neglect our spiritual selves sometimes as well. On a physical level, a diagnosis of a serious illness is simply shocking because, I never thought about, my body's just supposed to work really well. And what's it doing? Calling attention to itself. And it's really calling attention to itself. And it feels like a betrayal at first, almost like, you just expect your body to work. And it's suddenly not. And it's quite scary. You just don't know what to do. You have experience with flat tires and leaky faucets, to take the parallel. And then this is more like engine failure or like an earthquake. It's really life or death. And no matter how well prepared we think we are, it's uncharted territory, really. And everything you think you knew just flies out the window. You stay shocked for a while, and then you actually just begin to heal. The journey back to health is more than just physical. It's physical, spiritual, and emotional. I want to talk first about physical healing. You start by doing the best you can medically. You do what you have to do. When I was first diagnosed, I felt like I was swirling around a drain. That's the best image I can tell you. And somehow you find the strength to crawl out, and you begin to learn about your disease and what you have to do, and then you just do it. And you don't know where you're getting the strength to do it, but you just do it. And then next you begin to respect this body of yours, and you give it attention. One of the first things I decided to do was control what I could control. We started to eat very healthy. We were eating healthy before this, I was driving my children crazy with brown bread, brown rice, brown everything. But there's really no reason for us to be eating extra hormones in our milk, in our meat, in our diet at all. So we're spending more money and eating organic, and maybe there's no science to any of this, but what if there is? And that's something you can control. So we did that. You can read about pesticides that turn into estrogen in your body, and there's some science to this. And anyway, we started to pay attention to that. Exercise. I always liked to exercise, but I never made it a priority. I always worked instead, or it's fun. But the oncologist told me that you can reduce your risk of recurrence by up to 50% by doing an hour of exercise a day, and that's pretty compelling. So I just decided that was as important as medicine, and I started to do that. Of course, I just broke my foot, but before that, I was doing an hour a day. But I also, we swam, and there's some people here, I think we swam a race across the Kinneret. I don't know if any of my fellow swimmers are here, but Sharon's here. It was amazing, and it's next year, May 22nd, and I invite all of you. It's all women, and it's an amazing, amazing event, and it was really great to train for that, so that was really fun. Here's a novel idea. Maybe we all ought to make more time to rest and to slow down a little bit. That takes real discipline, because it's not natural to do that. But that's important. And it's a mitzvah to take care of one's body in case anybody's feeling guilty about doing it. Rav Kook says in The Power of Life, he says, your natural intellect is no replacement for your physical well-being. Rather, you must take care to fill yourself with the power of life and bodily strength so that your intellect can be housed in your body in its full strength. As those who are familiar with nature put it, you need a healthy spirit and a healthy body. I saw firsthand in hospitals just how much we do to save a life, how much doctors do and people do. They're extraordinary means, from the smallest baby to the oldest person, how we value life. I saw what an amazing gift is a healthy body. Cherish your life. Take the time to do everything you can to care for yourselves. In parallel, there's spiritual healing. The body can't seem to heal by itself. It needs the soul to come along. That's what I found. This is very personal, and I know everyone finds their solace in their own ways, so I can only speak for what worked for me, and maybe it'll be helpful to somebody, I don't know. The gift that Hashem gave me this past year is that I never had one moment where I felt alone or abandoned. In times of greatest fear, I felt embraced. To feel out came from the heart. Words that had been repeated hundreds of times suddenly resonated and had crucial meaning. If you think about the bracha of Sha'asani Kirtzono, you really think about it, there's a lot. It's a very heavy thought to think about that, and it became a bracha, actually. Birkat HaChodesh, we pray for health every month. I couldn't say that without crying this year. And the prayer for the sick, and there's a small prayer at the end of Aleinu that's just beautiful, and I can go on, but that was it's a very wonderful year in that sense. At times I would read from a pasuk from the Tanakh, and perhaps of a parallel situation, and that would comfort me and give me deep chizuk. There are great people who were pretty scared too. Time took on its own meaning. Each holiday had special significance that related back to my journey back to health in a special way. The symbolism of each holiday. It's funny, like what you get to be grateful for. Like suddenly I didn't resent Pesach cleaning one bit. Like I was happy to be doing Pesach cleaning. Reaching each holiday is a celebration, and I said Shechayanu each holiday like never before. I was very grateful to be here in Israel during this difficult time, because I feel there's a holiness here that really strengthened me. Nobody wishes for illness, but I don't regret this greater closeness that I feel or what I've learned, and I also don't regret the heightened appreciation that I have for the smallest things in life that now seem very miraculous. That's an amazing bracha, to get that, to feel that now. I feel I'll live better the rest of my life for having learned this.